Before you ever touch her skin, before your hand even knows where to go, there is something deeper. A mature woman is silently waiting for you to touch first. And if you miss it, she may smile, stay polite, even stay with you. But inside, a door will never open. Welcome to Be Feminine, the place where we explore the hidden language of love, desire, and emotional power. If you're drawn to psychology, connection, and the truths most people never say out loud, subscribe now. You're not here by accident. You see, a mature woman does not experience attraction the way a younger woman does. Her body has memory, her heart has scars, her mind has learned patterns. She doesn't fall for hands or muscles or smooth words anymore. She watches how you move through silence, how you listen when she speaks about things that don't sound important, how you react when she reveals something fragile and unpolished. What she wants, touched first, is her emotional safety. Not in a dramatic way, not with speeches or promises, but in small, almost invisible moments. The way you don't rush her answers, the way you don't interrupt her pain with advice, the way you let her finish a thought without correcting it. These are touches, not on the body, on the nervous system. A mature woman has learned that physical touch without emotional permission feels empty. It feels like being held by someone who isn't really there. She doesn't crave hands on her waist first. She craves the feeling that she can exhale around you, that she doesn't have to perform, impress, or protect herself. Think about the last time a woman opened up to you about something real, her past, her disappointment, the way love once failed her. Did you lean in, or did you joke it away? Did you try to fix it, or did you simply stay present? Because in that moment, you were either touching the right place or missing it completely. Men often rush toward the visible door. They try to touch her body before touching her trust. But trust is not a switch, it's a temperature, and mature women feel emotional temperature before they feel desire. If your presence feels safe, her body follows naturally. If your presence feels uncertain, her body closes, even if she pretends it hasn't. A mature woman wants you to touch her sense of being understood, not "I get you" as a sentence, but "I see you" as a behavior. When she talks about her fears, you don't minimize them. When she talks about her dreams, you don't mock them. When she is quiet, you don't pressure her to perform happiness. You allow her emotional rhythm to exist without trying to control it. This is dark psychology in its quiet form. People attach not to who excites them, but to who regulates them. The person who makes your nervous system calm becomes addictive. The person who makes you feel emotionally held becomes irreplaceable. That's why mature women often lose interest in men who try too hard to impress. Because impressing is noisy. But safety is silent. Safety feels like space. Like not being rushed. Like being allowed to be complex without explanation. She wants you to touch her inner permission. Before she gives you access to her body, she is unconsciously asking, "Can I be real with you and still be wanted? Can I be tired and still be desired? Can I be complicated and still be chosen?" If the answer feels like yes, her attraction deepens. Not explosively, but steadily. Like roots growing underground. A younger woman might fall for how you make her feel in the moment. A mature woman falls for how you make her feel about herself. Stronger, calmer, less alone, less guarded. And here's the part most men miss. She doesn't need you to be perfect. She needs you to be emotionally predictable, not chaotic, not hot and cold, not intense one day and distant the next. Consistency is the most seductive thing to a woman who has survived emotional storms. When you show up the same way, attentive, respectful, emotionally present, something inside her softens. Not because she is weak, but because she no longer needs armor. This is the first touch she wants. Not hands, not lips, not desire, but the feeling that she can rest emotionally in your presence. And when that happens, physical intimacy doesn't feel like a goal anymore. It feels like a natural continuation, like a sentence finishing itself. Most men try to unlock her body. The man who touches her emotional safety first unlocks her loyalty. And once a mature woman gives emotional access, she doesn't give it lightly. It's not playful curiosity anymore. It's a conscious choice. That is why this first touch matters so much. Because everything after it, affection, desire, intimacy, grows from it. You think attraction begins with chemistry, but for a mature woman, attachment begins with permission. Once you touch her emotional safety, something subtle changes. She stops guarding every word. Her laughter becomes slower, deeper. Her eyes don't scan the room for exits anymore. She starts sitting closer without realizing it. Not because she wants your body yet, but because her nervous system has decided you are not a threat. This is where most men ruin it. They sense her softening and assume it's time to accelerate. They mistake emotional opening for physical invitation. They lean in too fast. They sexualize too soon. And she feels it, that shift from presence to pressure, from connection to extraction. And in that moment, something inside her tightens again. Because a mature woman doesn't fear intimacy. She fears being misunderstood once she allows it. What she wants touched next is her dignity. She wants to feel that her vulnerability didn't lower her value in your eyes, that her softness didn't turn her into an object, that her openness didn't make her something to take from instead of something to protect. This is psychological gravity. When a woman senses that you see her as a person first and a body second, desire deepens instead of disappearing. A mature woman has been wanted before, but she hasn't always been respected while being wanted, so she watches closely. Does your tone change once she relaxes? Do your words become heavier with intention? Do your compliments shift from "you're interesting" to "you're tempting"? These small changes tell her everything. If you rush into hunger, she feels consumed. If you stay grounded, she feels chosen. This is why emotional patience is seductive. Not because it's slow, but because it signals control. And control feels safe. A man who can sit inside tension without grabbing for release tells her, without words, "I don't need to take from you to feel powerful." That is rare, and rare feels valuable. You see, mature women are not chasing excitement. They are drawn to stability with depth, a calm sea with hidden currents, a presence that doesn't spike their anxiety but still stirs their desire. And here is the dark psychological truth. People bond most deeply to the person who makes them feel regulated, not the person who overwhelms them. If your energy feels predictable, she relaxes. If your attention feels steady, she trusts. If your interest feels respectful, she opens. And when she opens, she does not do it playfully. She does it deliberately. That's why her attraction looks different from a younger woman's. It's quieter, slower, more intentional. She is not testing you for fun. She is assessing whether you are safe to attach to. A mature woman wants to touch something inside you too, but she won't reach for it unless you make space for her to. She wants to feel that you are emotionally reachable, not guarded behind ego, not hidden behind jokes, not protected by indifference. She is drawn to a man who can stay emotionally available without collapsing into neediness. This is the balance: strength without coldness, presence without pressure, desire without desperation. When you embody that, she doesn't feel like she's giving something up by wanting you. She feels like she's stepping into something stable, and stability is erotic to a woman who has been through chaos, because chaos taught her what passion costs, and she is no longer interested in paying that price. So when she sits with you in silence and doesn't feel the urge to check her phone, when she talks about something personal and doesn't regret it afterward, when she doesn't feel the need to impress you, that is the moment you touched the right place. Not her body, not her fantasy, but her internal sense of safety and self-worth. And once that is touched, desire becomes a choice, not a reflex. This is why mature women don't fall quickly. But when they do, they fall deeply. Not into excitement, but into attachment, into consistency, into emotional permission. They don't give access to men who stimulate them. They give access to men who stabilize them. And if you understand this, you stop trying to win her. You start allowing her to arrive. Because the most powerful thing you can do is not chase her openness, but hold it when it appears. And the final thing she wants touched, the part that turns emotional connection into devotion, is not something you do with words or hands. It's something you do with time. And that is where most men fail completely. Time is the last test. Not how fast you move, but how long you remain the same. A mature woman watches what stays consistent when the excitement fades, when the conversation is no longer new, when the mystery is no longer thick, when the energy settles into something ordinary. Because that is where real character is revealed. Anyone can be attentive for a week. Anyone can be charming when desire is fresh. Anyone can sound deep when they want something. But very few men can stay emotionally present when there is nothing to win. This is the final place she wants touched, her sense of future safety. Not promises, not big plans, not dramatic declarations, but your pattern. Does your care remain when she's no longer performing? Does your tone stay warm when she's not trying to impress you? Do you stay interested when things become calm instead of intense? A mature woman has learned that love is not proven by intensity. It is proven by repetition. The man who treats her well once feels exciting. The man who treats her well consistently feels dangerous, in the best way. Because consistency touches the deepest fear she has. What if I open up, and it changes everything? She is not afraid of love. She is afraid of emotional bait and switch. She has experienced men who were gentle until they got access. Men who were patient until they felt secure. Men who changed the moment she stopped protecting herself. So she studies you quietly, not to judge you, but to protect herself. If your behavior doesn't fluctuate with her availability, if your respect doesn't depend on her mood, if your presence doesn't disappear when things get real, her attachment grows without her permission. This is the dark psychology of trust. The brain bonds to what feels reliable under emotional pressure, not what feels thrilling, not what feels dramatic, not what feels chaotic, what feels stable. That's why mature women don't chase butterflies anymore. They choose gravity. They want a man who doesn't pull them into emotional storms, but one who feels like ground. And when you become that, something irreversible happens. She stops evaluating you. She stops watching for danger. She stops preparing exits. She stops bracing herself for disappointment. And when a woman stops bracing, she begins attaching. Not loudly, not impulsively, but deeply. She begins imagining you in ordinary moments, in tired moments, in quiet moments, in tomorrow moments. This is the difference between attraction and devotion. Attraction is how she feels around you. Devotion is how she feels when you're not there. And devotion is born from emotional safety over time. That is why the first touch mattered. That is why the second touch mattered. And this is why the third touch changes everything. You touched her emotional safety. You respected her dignity. And now, you showed her that you are not temporary. Most men try to conquer a woman, A mature woman gives herself to a man who feels permanent, not because he promised, but because he proved. And if you understand this, you stop trying to seduce her with words and start influencing her with behavior. You stop chasing moments and start building emotional climate. Because a woman does not fall for what you say. She falls for how she feels existing near you. Calm, seen, unrushed, unthreatened, chosen. That is what she wanted touched first. Not her body, not her fantasy, not her loneliness, but the part of her that decides, here, I don't have to be afraid. And when that part opens, desire doesn't disappear. It matures. It becomes loyal. It becomes selective. It becomes intentional. And that kind of desire doesn't wander easily. If this changed how you see women, if this made you reflect on how you show up emotionally, then you already understand more than most men ever will. This is Be Feminine, where attraction is not taught as a trick, but as an emotional language. And in the next video, we'll talk about what makes a mature woman emotionally detach, even when she still loves you. Because sometimes, she doesn't leave when she's angry. She leaves when she no longer feels safe to stay. Subscribe if you want to understand that before it happens.